Kevin Sidebottom here, speaker, author, and trainer. And I go around and teach sales organizations and leadership teams how to build influence and trust and grow their profits using the processes that I've created. Today, let's talk about how you can build trust with somebody. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to answer 3 questions that everybody asks on every interaction. We're going to do that today in this video. We're going to show you how you can do this effectively, and it doesn't cost a whole lot for you to do so. We're also going to talk about how to be intentional. What's one thing you can do annually to help grow with people? And the third thing we're going to do is become an overachiever. And I'm going to show you that tidbit, how you can become that rock star and overachiever. Okay? Let's get into it. So, the 3 questions everybody asks are, do I like you? Do I trust you? And how can you help me? Well, we don't have a crystal ball that we can actually look into and know everything about everybody. So we have to work on this. One thing we can do in likability is understand that the different settings we're in can actually affect trust. If we're in a noisy environment, heavy machinery or gun blasts going off and trying to have a conversation with people, it's actually going to harm the conversation and our trust levels because people are going to associate stressful situations with us. So we need a calm, inviting area, which is what you see therapists always sitting in, to help gain trust with people, because when people relax, they share things and trust goes up. We also need to know what color clothing to wear. We also need to understand what scents actually do. Okay? So if you've ever gone into a department store, you know they have different lighting and different scents and sounds pumped into those environments. Reason being is women typically gravitate towards one way of scents and different things than men do. So in the different departments, you'll hear different music. You will hear and smell different things. Okay? Now, when we're engaging people, different colors we wear actually affect trust. That's right. So in the trustworthy training that I've created, you can take that and actually learn quite a bit and build trust really well in a short amount of time. The second thing is we don't know everything about people right out the get-go. Again, we don't have that crystal ball, but we typically have, especially in organizations, CRM systems. And those are customer relationship management tools where we learn more about people. We can do this with anybody we know and use even pieces of paper if we don't have a budget to go buy one. Well, there's some that are free, but typically not. And every time I've actually engaged someone and actually asked, hey, do you mind if I write this down and learn more about what you're looking for? They typically lean in and say, yeah, go for it. And I'm writing down, I'm populating it. Who are they? What's their birthdays? What are some really good dates for them that are special to them? Are they married? Do they have a significant other? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? What are their hobbies? What are their aspirations? What's the situation? Where do they want to go? I want to learn about those things because if I'm helping them and I'm intentionally leaning in, I'm actually going to grow, and so are they. I'm going to grow knowledge. I'm going to be able to build trust with them if I help them because I'm going to learn about what they need. How can I help them? Well, that's going to be answered in their situations and where they want to go. Maybe it's me helping them with something I know or linking them with somebody that knows something that I don't know that helps them. I'm going to build trust and credibility with people by doing so. It helps in all relationships. So constantly be leaning in, being intentional to do that so that way we can learn from people. Not just to have a meeting with somebody to get what we want and move on, but to actually be intentional. Next thing we need to do is at least annually, especially if you're in business or an organization, we need to be doing a training with people. And here's why. It's building the team. Whether it's learning a new skill or actually doing a team building event like Operation Adventure or an escape room, whatever it is, we need to be learning with people. And when we engage with people, we build bonds. And when we learn together, we build bonds and trust goes up. We need to understand who's got what skill sets, who brings value to the team here and there, and really understand them. And when we do that, we will build trust. So you got to be planning one event per year. Got to budget for it, whether it's bringing somebody in or going to do an event, not just beer chugging at the local pub. We need to be growing together. What new skills can we learn? Can somebody else in the organization help us with something too? Is another avenue. But I also recommend bringing somebody else in to help train your teams, because they'll bring in this value that you never thought of before, and it will help your team grow. Now, after that training, have your team come together and do a debrief. And what that is what actionable items can you take away? What was beneficial? What do you think is going to help you grow? Be constant on the positives of what people are taking away. And yeah, there'll be some discussion about it, but here's why we do this. Navy SEALs are the elite of the elite. And every time they practice for a mission, they're going through the mission and then they do a debrief. They review what went right, what went wrong, how do we move faster, how do we move efficient, what are best practices. And then they go practice again and again and again and again. When they get out to that mission, everything is second nature and they're so successful. And they'll tell you, they're not all Harvard graduates, rocket scientists, but they know how to work through the progression and do well. We need to take that into our business and any one of our relationships and grow with people and do a debrief. Ask good questions. Write it down on your CRM, your piece of paper. Learn what they said and go, that might actually help me too. We need to be intentional. Now, let's get into how we become a rock star. So typically in organizations and in sales especially, everybody overcommits and actually underproduces. Not intentionally. Everybody has these grand plans, and then they say, hey, we're going to hit it by this date, and they typically miss the mark. Well, that actually erodes trust, and we need to have trust with those that are buying from us or those we're engaging from. How do we do that? Well, it's called float. We actually want to add a little bit of float. So if you say, hey, it's going to take me a week to hit something out of the park for you and do this task, if you think it's going to take you a week, right, great about this much, add a couple days. That's right. You add a little bit of float because things happen, things come up, and you don't do so much that you don't commit to anything and get too legalistic, but you have to be a little bit more conservative just so you add this float in there. So you typically hit that date. Well, you build trust. But here's something that's cool that happens. Sometimes you actually hit the actual date you thought was going to happen. Now you've told them that it's out here, but you hit here. Well, now you've undercommitted and overproduced. When you overproduce, enough times you become a rock star and you're the go-to person. People will automatically look to you and say, that guy's a rock star or that gal's a rock star. How can we learn from them? Okay? If you like this video, hit like, subscribe, share it with somebody that it might add value to. If you need to get a hold of me, contact information is below. But we'll see you next time.